Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Kent. We are a spiritual community that seeks to be diverse and inclusive as we inspire love, work for justice, and grow together in community. I'm Reverend Stephen, minister of this congregation. Now, as we join in community, let's just take a moment to breathe and be present. As we do, let's invite the Spirit to be with us and to open our hearts to life and the gift of this day. Today, we're going to reflect on the theme of resistance. What does resistance mean? Do you have images of protesters who are blocking city streets, chanting and carrying signs? How do you practice resistance in your own life? What does it mean for us as a congregation to be a community of resistance? What if we're already practicing resistance, defying the reality of unjust systems, communicating our beliefs and values through our lives and our shared life here in this church? This morning, let's sing together and pray together and ask questions and listen together to how Unitarian Universalism is a faith of resistance and how it calls us into thriving and transforming our world. Come, let us worship together.
Harmony out there, and it's going to be accompanied by clapping, so this is definitely going to be participatory. So I'm going to sing the first verse through once so you can hear it, and then we're going to start clapping and we'll carry on, okay? My heart is ready, and what am I gonna do? My heart is ready, and what am I gonna do? My heart is ready, and what am I gonna do? Oh God, my heart is ready, and what am I gonna do? Okay, ready? Here we go. My heart is ready, and what am I gonna do? My heart is ready, and what am I gonna do? My heart is ready, and what am I gonna do? Oh God, my heart is ready, and what am I gonna do? My heart is ready, and what am I gonna do? My heart is ready, and what am I gonna do? My heart is ready, and what am I gonna do? Oh God, my heart is ready, and what am I gonna do? Hands. My hands are ready, and what am I gonna do? My hands are ready, and what am I gonna do? My hands are ready, and what am I gonna do? Oh God, my hands are ready, and what am I gonna do? Feet. My feet are ready, and what am I gonna do? My feet are ready, and what am I gonna do? My feet are ready, and what am I gonna do? Oh God, my feet are ready, and what am I gonna do? Voice. My voice is ready, and what am I gonna do? My voice is ready, and what am I gonna do? My voice is ready, and what am I gonna do? Oh God, my voice is ready, and what am I gonna do? Spirit, my spirit's ready, and what am I gonna do? My spirit's ready, and what am I gonna do? My spirit's ready, and what am I gonna do? Oh God, my spirit's ready, and what am I gonna do? My heart is ready, and what am I gonna do? My heart is ready, and what am I gonna do? My heart is ready, and what am I gonna do? Oh God, my heart is ready, and what am I gonna do?
As Unitarian Universalists, we light a flame within a chalice to unite us in worship and to remind us of our ongoing search for the light of truth within us and among us. The chalice is also a light to guide us on our shared journey and a reminder we are all interconnected in the web of existence of which we are each a beloved part. As Jamie lights our shared chalice, I invite those on Zoom to light your home chalice. Please join me in the words of our congregational covenant. We affirm that each life has brilliance, and when joined with others in joyful community, has the power to transform. We pledge ourselves and our resources to this journey. This covenant inspires and challenges us to dwell together in right relationship. We promise to extend hospitality, nurture community for all ages, encourage spiritual growth, honor diversity, and practice kindness. And I invite you now to rise and join in singing our opening hymn, We Shall Be Known, and the words will be on the video.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now. What a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. Here we go. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now that we thrive. It's time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now. What a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
This morning we recognize and honor Jamie Vesely. Jamie will graduate with the Theodore Roosevelt High School class of 2023. In our faith tradition, bridging is what we call the transitional time of the late teen years, when youth may move on at their own pace and not necessarily in a straight line, out of the youth community and more fully into our community of all ages. Bridging youth are welcome to move in and out of the youth group until they're 21, as they find their way as young adults. I know that the youth group will welcome Bridging Youth and Jamie with open arms when they opt for that environment, and it's our job, the rest of us, to help Jamie integrate when they choose to explore what else our congregation has to offer. When we dedicate children into our community and dedicate ourselves to them, we give them each a long-stemmed rose with the thorns removed. The buds are symbols of the beauty of each person and the unfolding of life. We offer roses with thornless stems as a symbol of our desire to protect our children from all that could be hurtful. And now, Jamie, will you join me on the chancel for this rite of passage? Again, a rose. A larger, more vividly colored flower whose stem this time has not been carefully stripped of thorns. Though adult life is an occasionally sharply painful experience, as well as rich in color and texture, we still encourage you to engage life fully. My wish for you is that you may become even more fully yourself as you navigate the new waters of young adulthood. May the challenges you face be an opportunity to grow. May your gifts serve this world. And through all of this, may you be blessed by knowing yourself to be whole and worthy. Jamie, you are so loved. Would you like to share your thoughts?
Growing up in this church was really fun. I felt like I could be myself. In previous churches I had been to, I felt like I had to be a certain person, to fit in, to be liked, to be accepted. But when I came here, I didn't feel that way anymore. I felt like I could speak up a little more, and I became more confident too. Growing up here really helped me become the person I am now, because I was able to explore who I was in so many different ways. Growing up UU helped me learn about myself and other people. I asked questions. The more time I spent here, the more questions I asked. The more bravery I felt in asking questions, because I learned it was okay to question things and to be uncertain, which felt weird at first, but I'm really happy I learned that because I think it made me a more understanding person. Next year, in the fall, I'll be going to Kent State, living on campus and studying art education. I'm really excited to move on with my life, have a new beginning. At the same time, I'm sad I have to leave my high school years behind. I think I have grown the most as a person throughout high school, and I want to continue to change. I don't want that to end. I don't think it will, but I'm still nervous about what the future will be like. I'm sad to leave my friends and teachers from high school, and I know I'll meet new people, but it still breaks my heart to think of not seeing them every day. I'm super excited for the future as well. I'm so happy to move on and try new things. I'm so excited to learn and meet new people, even though it also makes me super nervous at the same time. So I'd like to say thank you to some people here at the church who helped me become myself, like Ellen, Alona, Hal, Mary Lou Holly, and Colleen. So thank you for supporting me and helping me learn and grow.
Jamie, Amanda is coming forward to present you with your gifts.
So it has been such a joy to be able to create a gift just for one person, and for one person that I really know and love and care about. So I created this, with you in mind. So one thing you'll get is this little chalice charm necklace. And Colleen has wrapped it around the back handle. So there's that to remember us by. I'm sure you'll still be around, but and then you'll also get a book, the Unitarian Universalist Pocket Guide. And then I created this chalice box for you, and I made it a rainbow. One of the things I remember about Jamie is them always wearing their rainbow tie-dye shirts that were sometimes all worn out, but because they were so loved. But also, I know that that the rainbow will speak to you and remind you of us and everything you're growing into too. It's been such a pleasure to watch you grow up and to see your joy and exuberance. I love your smile. I'm so glad that you're going to be joining our adult community and being part of the youth group still. So, and inside there is a little chalice, and there are also cards with chalice lighting so that you can have your own little chalice wherever you may go, wherever life finds you.
And finally, Stephen, will you join Ellen and I? Jamie, we have one more blessing for you today.
Today we honor you, Jamie. You are stepping beyond and away and toward. Today we share in your journey and encourage your discovery. Today we applaud you for all you have been, for all you are now, for all you will be.
Jamie, the good news with the high school youth group is we have college advisors. So she is transitioning into this college advisor role with us, which I'm thrilled. And I'm representing both myself, Ellen, and Alona, who is en route to London right now. So she's going to watch this later and send all the love in her heart. So Jamie, we bless you today. May your mind be on fire with wonder and wisdom. May your heart be aflame with love for this life. May your hands be ignited with purpose, and I'm going to add resistance today. And may your spirit be aglow with courage and compassion. Jamie, you are a light unto this world, and you carry our steadfast love with you wherever you go.
And finally, from the congregation, will you join me and stand if you are able in blessing Jamie? The words we will say to Jamie are, we bless you.
We bless you.
We love you.
We love you.
May your life unfold with joy.
May your life unfold with joy.
Amen and blessed be.
Amen and blessed be. This is our spiritual home, where we learn how to be human and how to deepen our relationship with the sacred. To do that, we create a time of shared silence for each of us to connect with what we each hold to be of ultimate meaning in our lives. Some of us pray, some reflect, others meditate or offer gratitude in our hearts, or we can simply be. The how doesn't matter. What does matter is that we remember once again who we truly are. We have a chance to reflect on our lives in both the terror and the wonder, and we reconnect with the sacred mystery that is the heart of life itself. Let's enter our shared silence. Part of life's mystery is the sorrow, the loss, and the struggle we all go through. We take time to share sorrows, struggles, and losses that are in our hearts right now. If you're on Zoom and have a sorrow, loss, or struggle to share, I would invite you to use the chat box. Let's begin with a moment of silence once again to grieve the deaths of 5 people in Texas on Friday. Spirit of life, hear our lament. When will this stop? Jen and Lois share that our cat Max has stopped eating and we're tube feeding him until he feels better. And I hope he feels better soon. Bonnie asks us to keep Becky Klein in our thoughts and prayers. Her mother remains in hospice. We hold David in our hearts as his mother is under hospice care. We join you in your prayers for a gentle transition for her, David. We hold Becky Haynes in our hearts. She currently has a head cold. I hope she recovers soon. And Marilee shares that a friend, Marilee, has a serious cancer diagnosis. Let's join together in a pastoral prayer with these words of Liz Weber. Spirit of life, help us to be present with all that is our life, both our deepest sorrows and our greatest joys, so that we can truly live, engaging fully in our own life and in our community. Spirit of community, help us know how linked we are, how each one of our cares touches all of us. Help us to ask for support when we're in need and offer our support to others when we are able, so that we may rest in the solace of one another's love. Spirit of love, help us to love our neighbors, we love ourselves, so that we might fully embody love and resist hatred. Spirit of resistance, help us to stick up for what is right even when we are tired or afraid. Help us to dream of the world as it should be and act to bring that world about. Help us to find hope each day. Spirit of hope, help us through this day and every day. Help us to be present for all that is our life. For all this we pray. May it be so. We've each had moments of joy, wonder, and awe this week that have lifted our spirits. Once again, if you're on Zoom and have a joy to share, please use the chat box. In addition, Sana shares that yesterday the last of my 9 rescue kittens went to their forever home. Sana, thank you for your care of our 4-legged friends. Okay, Elaine shares that Bill will be coming home today after a week in the hospital and surgery on Friday. He's recovering well. We celebrate with you and send our wishes and prayers for his continued recovery. And today's a special day. It is Kevin Breeden's 32nd birthday. Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kevin. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Now, with gratitude for these and all the blessings we receive in life, for the gift of life itself, for the companionship of each other on our shared journey, for the beauty of our world, and for this day with all its possibilities and promise, let us raise our hearts in gladness and together say, Amen.
When I thought about today's topic, resistance, it brought to mind my involvement in our faculty union when I worked as a university professor. I started out by serving as the department representative at union meetings. Later, I became involved in the grievance committee, whose charge was to enforce our contract. We represented faculty who had a dispute with the administration and also took action whenever we thought the administration was not acting in accordance with our contract. I also served as a counselor to people who were appealing a negative decision regarding reappointment, tenure, or promotion. Another activity was serving a term on our collective bargaining team that negotiates new contracts with the administration. It was a difficult negotiation, and at one point we had to ask the faculty to vote on whether they would authorize a strike. Luckily, instead, we were able to engage a mediator to settle our differences with a contract that was very favorable to the union. Each of these activities has an element of resistance. Simply by joining the union, I was resisting the notion that employers should have sole authority to set working conditions. By serving as a department union representative, I was acting on my belief that members of the union deserve to have their voices heard by union leaders. The grievance committee actively resisted efforts by administrators to circumvent our contract, and by serving as a counselor to people appealing a potentially career-ending decision, I helped them resist what they viewed as an unjust outcome. Standing up for faculty rights and being willing to strike are obvious acts of resistance as well. When you hear the word resistance, what do you think of? You might think of those large, courageous acts like voting for a strike, or maybe you think of community organizers, fists raised. But I encourage you to think of resistance as a spiritual practice that is for all of us. Because at its core, I believe that resistance is any action where we choose to live in accord with our values, especially when those values are not congruent with mainstream beliefs or the beliefs of those in power. Resistance is saying, there is something I value, something that is important enough to me that I will behave in line with those values, knowing that some people will disagree with that choice. When we resist, we have an opportunity to act in accord with our values. Resistance is an act of integrity that we do as much for ourselves and our sense of wholeness as for the wider world. One of my own small acts of integrity is refusing to use the self-scan grocery lanes. Former grocery store cashier here, I should also say. I always use a checkout line with a cashier, even if there's a substantial time cost. I do this because I want to support workers and don't want those jobs to disappear, and because I am disturbed by the trend in our society to make every interaction as impersonal as possible. I encourage you to recognize and affirm the acts of resistance in your daily life. Even if your natural tendency is to go along, to not make waves, and to avoid conflict, I bet there are lines you won't cross. Times when resistance to what is builds within you. So let's take a moment. What are your core values? The things important enough to you that you want to carry them into even small, everyday decisions you make. I invite you to state those values out loud or put them in the chat on Zoom. Freedom to read what you want. Freedom to read what you want.
Freedom to be who you are.
Freedom to be who you are. trans lives. Buying shoes and other items at local shoe stores or local stores instead of Amazon. Get an abortion locally if you need it. Break the mold of senior citizen. I'm sorry, what was the first part? Be paid a living wage.
The right to live alone.
The right to live alone.
Resisting the standard American diet and big pharma.
Resisting the American diet, I think you said, and big pharma.
Protecting the environment.
Protecting the environment. So we see there's a lot of diverse values in this room that people are willing to stand up for. Take a stand for what is important to you, even if it seems at times that doing so may not make a difference, because it does. Do it for your own integrity. I invite you to rise in body or spirit for our reflection hymn number 1017, Building a New Way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free of hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, our world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry. Our reading today is from the Reverend Rebecca Parker. Congregations should be communities of resistance, countercultural habitations in which people learn ways to survive and thrive that can resist and sometimes even transform an unjust dominant culture. Communities of resistance enable people to collectively resist oppression, something that can rarely be done alone. Religious communities of resistance can be found around the world. I traveled a few summers ago to visit Unitarian congregations in Transylvania. Part of the Hungarian minority in Romania, the Unitarian villages are largely found in mountain valleys. They've been there for 450 years. During the Reformation, dissident Christians found refuge in this region from the hunt for heretics And when the official church cracked down on scientists who were developing new theories about the solar system, the Unitarians maintained a space for reason and science as part of religion. In the 20th century, when the communists came into power in Romania, they imprisoned many of the Unitarian ministers. The children born in this time were taught early by their parents to put up an appearance of compliance and cooperation. They joined the communist youth and dutifully mouthed the slogans and songs. But as one young Transylvanian minister, a woman, explained to me, at the same time that we were going to the communist youth meetings, we were also participating in a counter-education system conducted by the church members. After school, we would go to various homes, different homes on different days, and the elders would teach us about our religious heritage, our obligation to resist. Liberation from oppression often depends on the existence of such counter-education systems and communities of resistance. Such community is established less by historical creed or by apostolic tradition than by covenantal relationships among the members. The role and responsibility of the members includes thinking for themselves and critiquing what is unjust. Diversity and dissent are holy gifts. Ritual and spiritual practices are subjected to ethical criteria. Do they support actions that are compassionate and just? Thich Nhat Hanh writes, I hope to see communities like that everywhere as a kind of demonstration that life is possible, a future is possible. There are many things that regulate us, rob us of our serenity, our peace, our time, ourselves. So a community that shows abundance of life, that is an example of the wholeness of life, would be an eloquent sign of the possibility of the future.
A few years ago, I attended a workshop about resistance. We began with a game. There was colored tape on the floor, dividing the room into different areas, and we were each assigned a section. We were given only one rule: don't cross the lines. At first, we played along, but when I wanted to tell a joke to a friend who was in a different group, I put a foot across the tape line. Nothing happened. No alarms, no warnings to stay in my area, nothing. So I took another step across the line, and still nothing happened. So I walked over to my friend. In a few minutes, everyone was crossing the lines. One of my fellow UUs started pulling up the tape and making a piece of art. When the group was called back together, one of the leaders said, I predicted a UU would cross the line first. Stephen, why did you cross the line? I wanted to tell Kathleen a great new UU joke I'd heard. Oh, and I didn't want us to lose our reputation of UUs being rebels. But I continued by saying, my understanding of resistance is that our work is to challenge the status quo, to break unjust rules, to cross and then ultimately destroy any barriers that divide us from one another, to take actions to disrupt injustice, oppression, to challenge and change systems and institutions that destroy life and deny anyone the ability to live authentically and fully, to refuse to be lulled into mindless consumerism, enjoying privilege and comfort, numb to the suffering around us. To all of these, I add an invitation to follow the lead of our youth who took their first service trip last summer. And like them, I invite you to take the risk of experiencing oppression and suffering firsthand in the lives of others. I've done it a number of times by visiting and learning from marginalized communities. One of my most powerful experiences was during seminary. One class was a social justice immersion experience. Our student group and leaders spent 10 days in Chiapas, the southernmost state of Mexico. We learned about the struggles of the indigenous people, the Mayans, to protect their way of life against the assimilation demanded by the Mexican government, corporations, and the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA. We visited several communities of Zapatistas, men, women, children, who have formed communities of resistance where they put their lives on the line every day for the right to live in freedom, to own the land they farm, and to govern themselves according to their ancient ways. As we met them, they wore their trademark black ski masks, which they use so they won't be recognized and imprisoned or killed by the government. The movement began in 1994 and continues to this day in its struggle for freedom, locked in a stalemate with the Mexican government. The Zapatistas didn't ask us to go home and raise money or start a movement on their behalf. They asked us to remember them and to tell their story, to let others know that a small group of people working together can change the world with a different way of living. I came back from Mexico troubled by what I'd learned and seen, more committed to working for justice, angry at capitalism and the government, and much more aware of how much privilege and comfort I enjoy. I'm not going to recommend that we secede from the state of Ohio to create the autonomous community of Kent, or that we wear black ski masks, or run around shouting, "Viva la Revolucion!" But I am going to call us to continue the work of resistance. It's in our spiritual DNA. Unitarian Universalism has a long legacy of people who, through the centuries, practiced resistance, led movements for social change, challenged injustice, and sometimes even gave their lives for this faith. Our core values as a denomination and a congregation are an expression of a theology of resistance. The 7 principles are a manifesto of ethics that call us into meaningful relationships with one another and all of life. The first principle, the inherent worth and dignity of every person, defies a world that treats people as objects to be used and exploited, nothing but replaceable cogs in a system whose God is profit. The sixth principle, a vision of a world that is truly one community with the goal of peace, liberty, and justice for everyone, where war or lethal weapons are no longer used to resolve differences between nations or different cultures or religions within a country. The seventh principle, it affirms the interconnectedness of all of life and that how we treat each other and the planet affects us all in deep and profound ways. As a congregation, our celebration of diversity is radical in a culture that fiercely protects its practices of white supremacy and racism and continues to oppress and kill people of color. In a world where those who don't fit certain norms are excluded, especially transgender people whose very lives are threatened and are being legislated out of existence, denying the right to be who you are, we are practicing resistance with a vision of an alternative way of life. This church is a spiritual home where people are welcome just as you are, a sanctuary where we protect and speak out on behalf of those who are vulnerable, a workshop of the heart where we define and name our deepest values and share our authentic selves, and every person has a voice in our shared life and work. These are powerful acts of resistance we're already doing. Does it surprise you that our congregation is a community of resistance? No. Good. If we are living out our radical liberal faith, that's the way it should be. UU Minister Reverend Rebecca Parker said, congregations should be communities of resistance, countercultural habitations in which people learn ways to survive and thrive that can resist and sometimes even transform an unjust dominant culture. Along with continuing to resist systems of oppression and injustice, how we resist is important. Martin Luther King Jr. wrote an essay in 1958 entitled An Experiment in Love, in which he said about resistance, nonviolent resistance avoids not only external violence, but also internal violence of spirit. At the center of nonviolence stands the principle of love. Along the way of life, Someone must have sense enough and morality enough to cut off the chain of hate. This can only be done by projecting the ethic of love to the center of our lives. So it is love that must be at the center of our resistance and our shared life and work as a community. Reverend Gretchen Haley has a wonderful vision of our churches. She sees them as part of a great countercultural resistance of love, a joyful effort that seeks in small and big ways to offer our lives as resistance to and keepers of the great story of human connection, goodness, beauty, equality, and love. A group of people discovering the power of we, answering life's call to be a people of resistance, guided and centered in love, trusting that even a small band of people offering a different way of being can create meaningful change in our world. So does that sound like who we are and who we aspire to be? Yes? Always, absolutely. Learning as we go, right, Elaine? Yep. So I ask you, will you continue to do our shared work of resistance, to take actions to disrupt injustice, oppression in your own way and as our community, and to offer the world your love, your gifts, your commitment to building the beloved community? Will you continue? Yes. Thank you. Let's do this together. So yes, may we continue to tend the sacred fire of community, to be a people of resistance, and to let love guide us in the work of loving our world into healing, into wholeness, and into beloved community. May it be so, and together we can make it so. Let's take a moment of silence together. One of our many acts of resistance is to give generously to agencies and organizations in Kent and beyond that serve those in need. This month, our special offering has been for the community meal hosted by our UU Youth for Justice, the UUYJ. Our youth prepare and serve a free meal each month to the Kent community as a justice outreach project, seeking to serve people who are experiencing loneliness, homelessness, or food insecurity. In the spirit of resistance, as well as gratitude for the gift of each other in this community, and recognizing the abundance that makes our generosity possible, we now give and receive the offering as a sign of our shared commitment to our congregation's life and work and beyond. Will the ushers please come forward?
In Montgomery and Selma, in the streets of Birmingham, the people sent a message to the leaders of the land. We have fought and we have suffered, and we know the wrong from right. We are family, we are neighbors, we are black and we are white. And here I go, bound for freedom. May my truth take the lead. Not the preacher, not the Congress, not the millionaire, but me. I will organize for justice. I'll raise my voice in song, and our children will be free to lead the world and carry on. From a cell in Pennsylvania, from an inmate on death row, Mumia had the courage to expose the evil show. From the courtroom to the boardroom, in the television's glare, how the greedy live off poor and hungry people everywhere. Well, here I go, bound for freedom. May my truth take the lead. Not the preacher, not the Congress, not the millionaire, but me. I will organize for justice, and I'll raise my voice in song, and our children will be free to lead the world and carry on. Well, here I go, though I'm standing on my own. I remember those before me, and I know I'm not alone. I will organize for justice. I'll raise my voice in song, and our children will be free to lead the world and carry on. From the streets of New York City, across the ocean and beyond, people from all nations create a common bond with our conscience as our weapon. We're witness to the fall. We are simple, we are brilliant, we are one, and we are all. Here I go, bound for freedom. May my truth take the lead. Not the preacher, not the Congress, not the millionaire, but me. I will organize for justice. I'll raise my voice in song, and our children will be free to lead the world and carry on.
It is time to take our love out into the world. Let's bring our service to its close by extinguishing our chalice. Would you join me in the words, please? We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. May we carry these in our hearts and minds until we are together again. I have two brief announcements. First of all, we have a pancake breakfast in Hobbs Hall, and the flavor this month is chocolate chip. Can I hear a yummy? So please join us for great food, good fun, and some lively conversation. Now, in preparation for our annual congregational meeting a month from now on Sunday, May 28th after service, please read the annual report and be informed. It was sent out Friday via a special email.
And our final words are from the Reverend Rebecca Parker. Let us covenant with one another to keep faith with the community of resistance, never to forget that life can be saved from that which threatens it by even small bands of people choosing to put into practice an alternative way of life.
And now, hearing the Spirit's call to continue to be a people of resistance, refusing to surrender our humanity to an inhumane world, and trusting in love's power to help us save and cherish life, let us go forth with hope as we continue to inspire love, seek justice, and grow together in community. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. And I see love's light in you.